us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
It's time to go one-on-one with DP. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America, on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Derek Pearson, brought to you by Canopy Street Market.
Yes, we are live here on One-on-One on a Monday afternoon, and there's a little bit to talk about here today. I'm Jake Bachman, sitting in for DP. He is still out on, he went to the road trip. He went to the Maryland game and is going to stick around for the Monday Night Football game as well. So hopefully DP is out there having fun. In the meantime, we've got a little bit to talk about, a lot to talk about. Nebraska, of course, won a ball game. I don't know if you know that, but also there's been a lot of speculation around the Penn State opening after James Franklin was let go. Of course, Matt Rule, an alumni there, had worked for their athletic director at Temple, considers him a close friend. So lots to kind of speculate and think about here in the next hour here on One-on-One on 93.7 The Ticket. Nick Sainert will be joining me here in a few minutes. We're giving him a little bit of a break. Of course, he's been at it on radio here for a little bit, and he's also kind of our Adam Schefter. He just got a phone call. I mean, he's got to take his phone calls. Maybe we got something coming, but plenty of stuff to talk about. Pretty exciting as we move forward. I mean, because all of this, there's so many different angles to come at it from. Obviously, Penn State losing to Northwestern after losing to UCLA, once thought of to be the most difficult game remaining on Nebraska's schedule. Now, how do we view that? UCLA destroyed Michigan State over the weekend, and Nebraska struggled with. So they certainly look like they're going to be a challenge. Now Northwestern, perhaps more of a challenge than we originally thought. Penn State, certainly less of one. As you kind of follow that stuff along, Iowa shut out Wisconsin, so they look like they're going to be pretty darn good. USC with the win over Michigan. So just kind of shifting around the level of difficulty we think these remaining games are going to be.
And on the flip side, Buck, here's the honest truth, is that Wisconsin program is in a wild spot right now. You think about it to where Wisconsin has Ohio State this week, Oregon next week, and then a bye. Things are shaping up perfectly for Luke Fickell to get fired that week after the Oregon game.
And I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. I've been kind of looking at that all along. And this one was a big one, particularly for them. They gave up 42 points to Iowa last year, and therefore every practice in the spring, they would finish with 42 push-ups. And so this was kind of their whole, you don't want to circle one game and make it bigger than the other, but Wisconsin, Iowa is a big rivalry to them. Obviously, things were already going off the rails earlier this season, but to put that much of a focus on it and to lose 37-0 to, again, an Iowa team that doesn't traditionally score 42 or 37 points, not the greatest look for Luke Fickell in Wisconsin. But just a lot to kind of break down. Nick, like I said, there was actually a game as well over the weekend that was very exciting, very interesting how all of this kind of factors in. If Nebraska loses to Maryland and then the Franklin situation happens, is there as much speculation for Matt Rule taking over at Penn State? It's just all of just a crazy weekend.
It is. We do have a statement from Penn State's athletic director, Pat Kraft. He says that the school will conduct a national coaching search. Kraft said, quote, "Our next coach will be somebody who embodies everything Penn State stands for: integrity, accountability, toughness, humility, and an elite motivator."
Elite. Uh-oh.
Oh, no. It's like they've been talking. Elite.
Like they're friends or something.
It sounds like they use the same terminology. No, that's like grasping at straws. But that is from Pat Kraft. He's speaking right now regarding their national coach search.
But I mean, and again, we can't get to the game, but it's hard to overlook the fact that, as you kind of look at Penn State's opening, there's of course all different odds and ideas about who's going to be the front runner or might be there to replace James Franklin. And Matt Rule is coming up in all of them. And again, a lot of that is partially due to Nebraska year 3 starting to turn around, right? I mean, you're winning these close games. They're moving up the kind of rankings in the Big Ten, and now, of course, top 25 Huskers after winning last week. And all of this is happening, by the way, on a short week. We have to go to Minnesota. PJ Fleck. That's always a game that at least that Minnesota's had Nebraska's number in over the last several years. But I said before, and I've been saying this the last couple of weeks, is that I didn't think there was really much of a chance that Franklin would get fired and Rule would go take that job. But the bigger part of that was that Franklin would get fired. I didn't believe James Franklin was going to get fired, but 2 back-to-back weeks of being favored by 20 plus and they lose kind of changes the conversation. Let's start there, Nick. Is Penn State, do you understand where they're coming from? I mean, you understand where they're coming from. Did they make the right move in firing James Franklin?
I think so, because I think this coaching carousel is shaping up to be a wild one, like as wild as we've ever seen. And that's in consideration to the Brian Kelly, Lincoln Riley whole situation that happened a couple of years ago. I think there are in college football right now, there are no, to use this word, elite coaches. There's not a Nick Saban out there right now. There's not. I would also say that there are very few coaches that are untouchable right now. And so I'm sure Penn State, this is what Pat Kraft said as well. I am confident in Penn State's future and in our ability to attract elite candidates to lead our program. If Penn State truly feels that way, or anybody, Florida feels that way, and a lot of that's probably just coach speak or athletic director speak, and I get that. But if they truly feel like they can go out and get somebody to elevate their program, which is hard to do in addition to James Franklin, this is a coach that had an overall record of 104-45. He was the second winningest coach in the history of Penn State football. Do you realize the expectation that's going to be for this next guy? Then the next person in there they've been to the state semifinal, college football playoff semifinal. Who can take them to the national championship? That's what Penn State was missing. Now they've had a couple of bad losses, but once again, it is. I get where they're coming from. I think it's an indication of where college football is at right now. And number two, they must feel like they can go out there, swing a big stick around, and bring somebody notable in.
And I think they can. I mean, they're without a doubt. You look at kind of the openings that are open as of now. They're clearly at the top, and that's when that's why you've got a question here from the text. Not really a question, a statement, but I will just kind of fire back at it. Is somebody's text in 1154? Let's be honest, going forward, who's set up better for the future in football, Nebraska or Penn State? I'd say Nebraska. Well, I would fire back and say I think Penn State. Penn State has. Nebraska at one point was one of those jobs, right? But it's just, I mean, look at the last 10. Look at the James Franklin tenure, where they're just trying out major bowl wins, top 10 finishes. Micah Parsons, Saquon Barkley's, and Nebraska has just not been there. Now Matt Rule has reestablished Nebraska into the top 25 for now.
Yeah.
Nebraska's had some visits to the top 25 over the last 10 years, usually in these spots, 24th, 25th, and then quickly ducked out. So there's still more work to be done. While it is good that Nebraska is winning games that they haven't won in the last 10 years, those close games, right? At the same time, if you take all of the curse of the history of Nebraska football over the last several years of not winning those close games, you might say, if you're just looking at it from a different point of view, is that they're kind of playing with their food and it's going to catch up to them at some point.
At some point. Another quote from Pat Kraft on Penn State's next head coach. He says, quote, "This person has to fit Penn State. They need to represent the toughness, the blue-collar work ethic, and the class that defines this institution." So there you go.
And again,
who fits Penn State?
Yeah. And Matt Rule, again, an alumni there, started his coaching career there, has had nothing but great things to say about Penn State over the last several years, even at Nebraska. And again, the biggest thing, I mean, if those aren't big enough, is, Pat Kraft. Having worked for him at Temple, we know this about athletic directors. We can sit on the outside and say, this guy should be hired or that guy should be hired. There's a comfortability of having success at Temple. From an athletic director in coaching standpoint, you already know how you work. The athletic director is already in the spot at Penn State. And so it's, if offered, it would be something that, I've thought about this since Nebraska hired Matt Rule. If he had success, the Penn State job comes open, it's one you really couldn't blame him for taking. I mean, that's the going home. That's the whole idea. And sorry to bring it up this way, but the Scott Frost hire is
1,000%.
It's not just if he does well and you take that chance, then you think you've got him for 25 years because what other job's going to attract him more so than the one he has? Maybe the NFL. And that's always going to be something with Matt Rule, by the way, as well, as he always has success. If he continues to have success, I should say. And so for Penn State, I mean, the allure of Matt Rule might even be the extra part of that is if he's here to stay. I mean, you might have, and that's a place that has had, 3 coaches since 1966 or something like that. So that would be definitely attractive to them as you kind of break down some of those things. Now, I think if we talk about any job, whether it comes open, if it's Michigan State, Florida, the jobs that are open now, the first call for everybody is going to be Curt Cignetti, and just to see. Oh my gosh! It has to be.
Yeah, because you talk about an elite candidate, and Curt, I believe, is from Pennsylvania, but ultimately you talk about all the things that come with him. Certainly, I think. I'll say I think it's a 2-horse race. I think it is Curt Cignetti or Matt Rule. I think those guys fit what Penn State needs. Not necessarily, more so obviously Curt Cignetti than Matt Rule because Kurt's won the big games. Coach Cignetti's won the big games, and Matt hasn't. Matt Rule hasn't. But once again, for a university in Penn State that is on the horizon and on the doorstep of a $700+ million renovation, the connection that we know there is with Pat Kraft, right? There's a lot of things surface level wise. I said this on the show earlier, Bach. I said, look at the schedules. Like as from a coach's standpoint, which place is going to be easier to win in the next 3 years? Penn State. Penn State's schedule the next 2 years is what Nebraska's was this season. Nebraska's schedule the next 2 seasons is a gauntlet. And as quick as things can change, as much as we are revering Matt Rule right now and like talking about how he's like this national candidate, first off, the discourse around Matt Rule has changed dramatically as soon as Penn State opened up. Any other job could have opened up, and we'd still say the same things that we were talking about Penn State, or excuse me, about Matt Rule last week, about how he can't win the big games, but hey, he's doing a good enough job for Nebraska, right? But from a national standpoint, well, now Penn State opens up, and he's this national candidate. So the discourse has been kind of alarming, and it's kind of giving me some whiplash. Second off is, on top of it all, things can change in the blink of an eye, and these things line up, and timing is everything in this business. And you never know when you say no to an opportunity, especially one like this. If given the chance, if given the offer, you never know if it's going to be able to be, offered to you again. You never, you have to operate in the, we're not going to take it. Scott Frost is a perfect example. He admits, as much as you want to hate him, he admits probably shouldn't have taken the job. But that very well could have been the only job or only time that he was ever offered the Nebraska job. Because not only do you as a coach at your current stop have to be successful, but then the job that you want, your dream job that you want, has to be open and available and wants you at the same exact time. Those things, it's hard to get those to line up. And when they do, it's a hard opportunity to say no to.
Yeah, absolutely. And there have been, if you are kind of thinking about it from that standpoint too, there have been cases where you've been denied by your alumni. And there's a long time there was speculation as the Michigan job came open, and Les Miles was at the top. He's an alumni there and never went back. So it's possible that he's offered and turns it down and maybe believes in what he's got at Nebraska. And I think that's without a doubt. That's what all this is about. Like you said, it's kind of on two fronts there. Is if it's not the Penn State job that comes open, then Matt Rule is not one of the top names. Like any other job, he's not necessarily one of the top names. It might be a name you throw in there at some point, especially as Nebraska continues, or hopefully this trajectory upward and has success. But so you kind of look at it that way. There's the one thing that I did see, and I think you're right. I've seen lots of, there's a name thrown out here from Mississippi Mud Dog, that Lane Kiffin might be a good name, and Ole Miss is up there. That would not be a bad idea. A name that I haven't seen thrown out there. But a lot of what we've seen nationally is it feels like Matt Rule or Curt Cignetti. Again, those things can change day to day based on the Nebraska hire. We even saw Matt Rule was at one time the top name, and then he wasn't, and then he took the job. So things can change pretty quickly there. But it's just going to be fascinating to see the next steps here for Nebraska. I have seen though too is the idea. Some people try to pair. Okay, yeah, Matt Rule. He could bring Dylan Raiola along, and I go, well, I don't think you understand why Dylan Raiola is at Nebraska. I think Matt Rule might be part of that, but I don't know if it's continued. To something I heard you say too earlier on the drive. It's intriguing to what would be the reaction from Nebraska. Obviously, you have to make the next hire, but it's a good thing when your coaches are being desired from the outside, right? Bo Pelini at one time was desired and talked about with Penn State, and I heard behind the scenes from some reporters, he didn't like the churches there. I don't know if that necessarily always plays in the biggest factor there. I always thought that was funny. But it's good that your coach is desired. That means he's doing something well and things are going well. And it could be a point to where if he does leave, again, I couldn't necessarily fault him for it. I also don't think Nebraska would be in the worst position, right? No. You hopefully would just kind of want to try to continue that build upward. He doesn't necessarily have the track record of post whatever happens this season, right? Of what is year 4 look like. So you don't necessarily know. And we'll see. There's just a lot to kind of break down there. Again, the one thing that doesn't fit for Penn State in this search as they look for it is James Franklin's biggest problem. Of course, the last couple of weeks were kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, right? But the bigger problem at Penn State has been their top 10 program, not a top 5 program. James Franklin at Penn State was 4-21 against top 10 teams, but even worse, 1-18 against top 10 Big Ten teams. And so, that's why I say, I think it's a little bit crazy. I think he is a top 20 coach at the very least. in college football right now. And so it is a little bit of definitely a risky move on Penn State's side. I think part of this too is they did have a little bit of lull in 2020 and 2021, where this is kind of signaling another lull. Sometimes as a long tenured coach, you can go through one lull, but you don't necessarily want to make a habit of it. So I think that was part of it. But again, all those big game problems for James Franklin and Matt Rule's lost his last 17, 18 games against top 25 opponents. That's the other part of it that I kind of think, I don't know if that necessarily it would be the most exciting part of that. But again, if you're Penn State, you have to kind of come from the angle that a lot of those games are at rebuilding programs, right? Temple and Baylor, and then certainly to Nebraska to the standard.
That's the point. A couple of things. I agree 100% there. Rules lost 17 in a row versus top 25 teams. The other part of that is that you're right. What does Rule do best? And he builds programs. Penn State doesn't need a program builder. They need a program elevator. That's what I said actually to end the drive today. Is I said I think both Nebraska and Penn State. This is Rule's opportunity at Nebraska to prove that, hey, I can take a team. He's never been at a spot longer than a couple of years. Also, like, that's the other thing that we have to look at is if you look at Matt Rule, and this is where it can get a little dicey for Husker fans. I'll say this: you look at his tenure of where he's been and for how long, and there's patterns. He was at Temple for 4 years. Then he was at Baylor for 3, had success, and left. While he was on one of the top coaches in college football, he was recognized as that. Left, goes to Carolina, gets fired after a couple of years, then comes to Nebraska. Here he is, year 3. We don't know what Matt Rule looks like after year 3. There's not a sample size. There's not a litmus test. There's not a study of what Matt Rule looks like. We don't know if he's a program of elevator. We don't know if that is, because he's never been in a spot long enough to where we have, okay, this is what he did from year 3 to year 4. This is what he did from year 3 to year 6. This is what it looks like. We haven't seen that from Matt Rule. And so that's what I think is it would be a little disappointing if he did choose to take the Penn State job, because I think there still is uncertainty. But once again, I think he'd be dumb not to take it. Yeah. I think he'd be dumb not to take the job. And that's not what Nebraska fans are going to want to hear. But we'll find out. 5 or 6 minutes here. Usually Matt Rule is pretty punctual on time. 5 to 6 minutes here. He's going to be talking to the media, and we'll see what he has to say.
And isn't that the most fascinating part of all of it, right? Is because we've already it's tough to even trust coach. I mean, Matt Rule is forward. I mean, he's got a podcast. He's the most open coach I think I've ever seen, maybe in the profession. Yeah. And yet there's been so many times. And what is he supposed to say? Exactly. Other than that he's committed to Nebraska. And so I always kind of think it's funny when you use that to go back against him. Yeah. Again, if he leaves, even if he says he's committed to Nebraska, he ends up leaving, I'm not going to hold these comments against him.
What if he says something, Bach, along the lines of, what does he have to say for you to believe him that he's not going to entertain any opportunity?
I don't think he can say anything.
Really? So if he came out and was like, hey, I wish my friend Pat Kraft the best of luck, find a replacement, it's not going to be me. Would you believe that? Because that's as cut and dry as you can get. And the fact of your hesitation, that should tell everybody a lot.
Well, yeah. Again, back to your point, though, he'd be dumb not to at least
not to entertain it.
Yeah, you got to consider it.
Yeah. And I said it at the start of the drive. It is malpractice on his agent's part if he doesn't get him more money out of this from Nebraska.
Yeah. And again,
he's already getting paid a ton.
It's yeah. And I think
the next couple of years of his contract at Nebraska are the most lucrative.
Yeah. I mean, Penn State's definitely gonna have to pay him, but that was part of their idea. And I saw some people like trying to figure out, obviously this buyout is the second most behind Jimbo Fisher, $49 million. Yeah. They're not worried about that's not what they're worried about right now. No. Because they knew when they made that move, first they're gonna have to pay his payout, and the idea that you're Penn State, you're not gonna go to find somebody on the bargain bin deal. They're gonna be paying top college football money for their next head coach, no matter who that is. So it's crazy.
I have feelings about this. So hold on, I got to find the right year. Hold on one second. As we get ready, is there cash blitz today?
Not on one.
Okay, not on one. Okay, sorry.
But
about that.
we are due for a break. So
Okay,
maybe
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
look into it a
We
little
can
bit.
touch on it after.
Yeah. We've got Nick's looking.
I want
up.
to respond to C. Munden's text when we come back about Nebraska and a blue blood program.
Oh, good. Yeah, good talking point. We'll do that because there is a lot of, we maybe need to clarify a little bit, maybe why we would believe that Matt Rule should at least entertain the Penn State job over Nebraska. We'll do that coming up next year on 93.7 The Ticket on One-on-One.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
It's $5.99 barbecue time. Hurry to Hog Wild for a complete barbecue meal that's only $5.99. Get a one-meat sandwich loaded with our award-winning barbecue, plus your choice of a classic side and drink for just $5.99. Upgrade your sandwich to beef brisket for just $1 more. Join us for lunch or dinner in Lincoln at 3210 Cornhusker Highway. Order online at GoHogWild.com.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Galfa Roofing would like to remind all motorists that each year thousands of people die or are seriously injured because of reckless drivers. When you get on the road, do yourself, family, and your community a favor. When driving in child-populated areas, remember the 3 C's of safety: caution, courtesy, and above all, common sense. Galfa Roofing, providing residential roofing, siding, and gutter services, metal roofing, roofing inspections, and more. No job is too big, no job is too small. One call does it all. Galfa Roofing, on the air because they care.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Get geared up for savings like you've never seen before during Elway Days. Their biggest sale of the year runs October 14th through the 18th when every red tag machine is priced at invoice plus $300. That's it. No freight, no setup, no extra fees. Don't miss out on these epic savings. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location.
I can't believe I just scratched that car. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krikak, today at 402-474-1173.
You're listening to One on One with DP, brought to you by Canopy Street Market on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back here on One on 93.7 The Ticket. Very interesting stuff coming from the Matt Rule press conference. As of course, the first question is about the Penn State opening, and Matt Rule gave a very long response to it, kind of deflecting a little bit about the question about the opening. He answered it as well as maybe as you could. Other than just shutting it down pretty quickly. Did say that he was all but born in a Penn State shirt.
He loves Pat Kraft.
Yeah. But it did obviously, he finished that up with saying he loves Nebraska, has a great relationship with the AD here, and they're going to trying to build a beast here. But it sounded like, to me, a guy, and we'll play the response here in a second, a guy that is keeping his options open a little bit as we get to it.
It wasn't very reassuring.
No.
I think Nebraska fans were going to pick apart his response. But in addition to that, it was Husker fans were searching for reassurances, and you didn't get a ton. Now part of it is Matt Rule knew he was going to get that question. He knew it. And we'll see what happens. Who knows? He talked about, I think both things can be true. You can love it here. You can also love it somewhere else. Just because, and vice versa. Just because he loves it at Penn State, he might love it here enough to where he stays. Who knows what happens? I wanted to get to this text before we play it. C. Munden said, why are we talking like Nebraska isn't a blue blood program? Nebraska is not a stepping stone school. And Matt Rule even said that. We have some of the best facilities in college football, and our team is getting better. Why leave? I understand historically Nebraska is a blue blood. But in the last 10 years, Nebraska has 49 wins. That is not top echelon program football. In the last 3 years, Nebraska has 17 of those wins. So in the previous 7, you had 32. You had 32 wins from 2016 to 2022. That is not a nationally relevant program. Matt Rule came here, as he just said, and you'll hear it in just a moment, to build Nebraska into a beast. That is what he said just a couple of minutes ago in the press conference. Nebraska historically still a blue blood, still on the charts as one of the most winningest programs of all time, still on the charts for the best fan experience, the best fan base in the country, still high on the charts for the for the investment in college football. But when it comes down to winning and success and national championships, 30 years removed, you're about to be in 2029, 30 years removed from your last conference championship. Nebraska shouldn't be a stepping stone job, but because of the way that they've performed the last 20, 25 years, they are probably viewed as a stepping stone job. And if Matt Rule ends up leaving, we have to acknowledge what it is, that he used it as a stepping stone job. The same way he used Temple, the same way he used Baylor to then use that as a stepping stone to the NFL. Somebody on the text line also said that he hadn't been anywhere long enough to see him fall. That's 100% accurate. We don't know what Matt Rule looks like past year 3 or year 4. We don't know what year 6 at a college football program Matt Rule looks like. It could be a national championship contending coach. We don't know. And so is Nebraska, would I put them in a stepping stone conversation? No. Would I put them as a top 3 job in college football? Also no. The fan investment and everything there can only do so much. You have to be a strong coach to be able to take Nebraska back to that, in my opinion. Everything else around it, the fans, the investments, the facilities, it's all there. But it's also been there since 2015. It's also been there since 2005. And they've had the wrong people in charge. So to say it's a blue blood in today's day and age of college football, I'm sorry, I don't get behind that.
Well, I think it's a blue blood because of the historical relevance of that name. But as far as are they a play, like you said, I mean, I think you're talking about a top 25 job compared to Penn State. That's a top 10 job. You talk about facilities, all those top 10 jobs are going to have facilities.
Yeah.
Penn State's pouring money into that. Penn State has 45 players in the NFL right now. Nebraska has 12, I think. There's all these different ways that we could show you Penn State is right now a better job than Nebraska. And I think the biggest one is they were a game and a few plays away from playing the national title while Nebraska celebrated getting to their first bowl game since 2016 in nearly a decade. So, I mean, there's clear, stark differences there. Let's go ahead and get to the response. This is going to be played and replayed throughout the week here, but this is Matt Rule's response to the Penn State opening.
I love Penn State. Met my wife there. It's my alma mater. Fan since I was born. I was born, I think, probably had a Penn State shirt when I was born. I love Pat Kraft. And really sad to see Coach Franklin go. You know, when you think about what he did for my alma mater, you know that the program was in peril, right? I mean, the players, if people remember, like the historic sanctions, you could transfer out, you could do whatever you want. Bill O'Brien comes in, stabilizes it for 2 years. James takes over a program in disarray and gives stability, excellence, and to see videos of people like yelling at his kids, and like I just don't understand why in our country, like well now, like coaches are villains. Like, you know how hard I worked in Carolina, and the things that were said to me, or you know how hard I work here, and some of the things that are said, our coaches work here, how hard Sat worked last year. So I'm just really sad about that part of it. And people say, well, you make a lot of money. Making a lot of money doesn't make your kids feel good when they're hearing that. Make a lot of money. It's nice to make a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, but still people. So I really respect James Franklin. Troy and I are in unbelievable relationship too. And Troy and I are in constant communication about this program and where we're headed. I came here for 2 reasons. I love the community here and wanted to live here, and I love it here. And I wanted to rebuild Nebraska football. And, Troy and I understand the steps that you need to take to make us Big Ten champions and national champions. This place is elite. And I want to be a great father and I want to be a great college football coach. And so, I'm not going to talk a lot about job openings when they come. Maybe it's been a while here, but this is what happens when you win. I've dealt with it. We've won at Temple and I dealt with it all the time. I've dealt with Baylor. I'm not going to talk about those things ever. I'm not going to talk about my contract here. I'm going to talk about the team, but yeah, I absolutely love it here. And I want us to continue to take the steps needed for us to turn this thing into a beast. And players all across the country want to come here. We have the best facilities. We have elite fans. And, I'm just looking at the future. So, but again, I love that place. I love Pat. I love James Franklin. Sad that came to an end. I wish him the absolute best, but I'm really happy here and excited to get going this week on Minnesota.
So there you have it, Matt Rhule responding to the Penn State rumors that are out there. Again, it probably depends on what angle you're looking at that from. If you're a Penn State fan, you certainly listen to the first part of that answer and think, okay, well, it could be out there a possibility of bringing him back in. If you're a Nebraska fan, you might lean toward the second part of that answer where he was kind of building up things there at Nebraska. And that's why I say I think the response is seemingly just a good response as far as staying in the middle and letting things kind of play out. So I don't know if that's the necessary the answer that you wanted from Matt Rhule. You asked me, Nick, before we went to break, what could he say to make me believe that he could completely shut down and take away the Penn State rumors? I didn't think there was anything that he necessarily could do. So it's going to be out there. It's going to be floating out there in Nebraska's the next thing for Nebraska to do this week is obviously you got that Minnesota game is try to keep any sort of speculation, any sort of a sideshow piece to this away from this football team who, again, I mean, that was the second question. He started up with his opening statement was about, some of these games and being -3 in the turnover battle this past week. You don't win too many games like that. They've had to come back here in these last couple of weeks to win these games. So the Minnesota game, I don't expect anything except for a rock fight, a tough game of maybe some more back and forth. And so the details are going to be pretty important this week to be able to put that to the side. It's all fascinating to see all of it, right? I mean, if there is a move, when would the move happen? When, what would that mean for Nebraska? We've got texts about Dana Holgorsen being on staff. He could certainly be a guy that could fill in if they needed him to, interim wise or long term. So, I mean, there's a lot of different ways this can go here. But I would say, as far as saying the one that sticks with me is saying I was born in a Penn State shirt. That's hard to, that's basically hard to overlook.
And Matt has never shied away for his love for and his close connection with Pat Kraft. He's never shied away. And his affinity for Penn State just in general. I think, here's what I would say. Unnamed texter says this. I don't think he'd take it because what if he failed? Wouldn't he always want to be welcome back home? Coaches, they never take jobs or they never view jobs as like, oh man, what if I fail? They're a lot of times, and I don't mean this negatively. A lot of times they're arrogant into where they feel like, hey, I can go anywhere and I can win.
They better be.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have to, right? So we can't use that as a reason for him not to want to take it, because if he failed, he wouldn't have that on his radar. You just don't. Nobody has it. You can say, okay, this job is hard, right? This job is going to be tougher than this previous job. But I also don't think it would be. I think Penn State would be easier place to win right now.
Yeah.
In terms of in terms of short-term success. I don't know. There's a lot here, guys. Let's be 100% transparent here. And this is a moment of honesty that I'll provide here. There are reasons you can sit there and say that Rhule creating his own podcast, going on the McAfee show every week, all of these little things are building Nebraska's brand, but you also know who it's given a better look into how he operates? Matt Rhule. Matt Rhule is building his brand.
Oh, yeah.
Whether that was for Post Nebraska as a commentator, as a broadcaster, as a studio host, whether it's as a full-time podcaster after his time at Nebraska, or indirectly pitching himself to other jobs. It can be multifaceted. And so, yeah, it can certainly provide insight to Nebraska, and it can certainly showcase, hey, this is what we're doing at Nebraska, but you also know Who's the face of it? It's Matt Rule, the guy who's talking week after week to these programs and on his podcast and to all of this. There's so much more than just the surface level. And there's so much more than even just Nebraska's schedule is tougher next year than Penn State's. Penn State's is home. He has the relationship with Pat Kraft. There's so much more that people aren't even considering. But once again, it's what Nebraska fans don't want to hear. And there's a chance Matt Rule stays. There's a chance.
There's a chance he's not offered the job.
Yes,
Pretty good chance.
There's a very good chance that he's not offered the job because of his record against top-ranked opponents that Penn State was the reason they fired James Franklin for. But ultimately, we have to acknowledge, don't get rose-colored glasses. We can't. Nebraska has not had. Nebraska fans cannot afford to get the rose-colored glasses, because if you do, we sit here and be like, well, hold on, wait a minute. His wife has a business and he's creating a podcast strictly for Nebraska. He says he loves it here. What about raising his kids here? His kid's a college student at Nebraska. You know where that free tuition can travel? Penn State.
Yeah.
Like there's those types of things. You can sell businesses. You can close up shop. Guess what? It's easier to do that too and eat the expenses when you're $49 million richer because of what the buyout you got in Carolina. I just do not be naive to the way business works nowadays. And it sucks. It sucks. But that's the honest to God truth that everybody needs to acknowledge.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's reasons to stay, there's reasons to go, but I don't think any of them are concrete enough one way or the other that it makes the decision for them. So it's going to be weighing some things out there. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be back, finish things out on one-on-one, very busy one-on-one on 93.7 The Ticket.
Watch live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Galfa Roofing would like to remind all motorists that each year thousands of people die or are seriously injured because of reckless drivers. When you get on the road, do yourself, family, and your community a favor. When driving in child-populated areas, remember the 3 C's of safety: caution, courtesy, and above all, common sense. Galfa Roofing, providing residential roofing, siding, and gutter services, metal roofing, roofing inspections, and more. No job is too big. No job is too small. One call does it all. Galfa Roofing, on the air because they care.
Join LES at 6 p.m. Thursday, October 9th at the LES Operations Center to learn about the utilities' proposed 2026 budget and electric rates, and share your input at the annual public meeting. Learn more at les.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Copple Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Copple is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Copple Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at copplecars.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Parkview Animal Hospital and Corn Coast Brewing Company invite you to join them October 18th for Ales Helping Tales at Corn Coast Brewery in Lincoln. Enjoy a limited edition brew available at both Corn Coast Brewing locations in Lincoln and Omaha, as a portion of the proceeds will go to support Brave Animal Rescue and their efforts to help find dogs and cats their forever homes. Parkview Animal Hospital will be on location with great raffle prizes and helping bring awareness about pets in need. They hope to see you there.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, slight chance of showers, especially this afternoon. Otherwise, probably sunny skies and be breezy. The high around 67. Tonight, a chance of showers, the low around 54. And tomorrow, a continued chance of scattered showers. Otherwise, cloudy skies with the high around 67. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today. The temperature and leaves are falling daily, so that means it's time for a new pair of shoes for the fall season from Brown's Shoe Fit. Now through October 31st, take $15 off any regularly priced fall shoes and boots. Brands like Keen, Oboz, Echo, Taos, and Atrex all $15 off. Some exclusions may apply. See store for details. This is the sale you've all been waiting for, so get down to Brown's Shoe Fit on 66th and Q.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left at once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. You're listening to One-on-One with DP, brought to you by Canopy Street Market on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
One final segment here on One-on-One before we hand the microphone off to Adam Carricker and get his thoughts on, of course, a busy and interesting weekend day, all that.
This is how I'll say this, okay? And this is not me targeting Nebraska media. A lot of people are tweeting out that Matt Rule reaffirmed his commitment to Nebraska and recommitted to Nebraska.
Wow.
While that was true, he also went on I don't want to say a tirade. He went on a speech about how much he loved Penn State.
Right.
So this is once again the rose color stuff. We did get asked, Bach, do you guys feel like, what are the chances, Corey and Lincoln, what are the chances Penn State announces a hire in the next few weeks? Here's what I would say to that, Corey and Lincoln, and we were talking about this during the break. It for me, I'll say this, and I'll put my own, like, whatever reputation, I guess, the little that there is on it.
You don't think you have much of a reputation.
I don't know. I'm still young. I get it. People probably don't think I know a whole lot or talk to a lot of people, and that's fine. I would imagine that if anything were to really start to crumble and tea leaves were start to fall, it would be the bye week after UCLA's game. Because here's the thing, and Bach and I, you and I talked about this, where it feels like, I mean, let's hypothetically say Nebraska loses to Minnesota and to UCLA. Then you have a bye week, and Nebraska's 6-3. Does that do enough for Penn State? Like, are they going to want to have hired him already? Now, on the flip side, if Nebraska wins the next 3 games and they're sitting there at 8-1, which is a possibility, then yeah, that hire becomes a lot more attractive. I think that bye week after the UCLA game is kind of the week that I'm personally looking at as like, okay, that's when stuff will really start to get real.
Well, and I think too, Penn State, most of these stuff, a lot of it waits till December. I mean, you got to think
absolutely.
about, in Penn State, the allure to doing it early would be before the other big programs coming, and there might be a bigger job opportunity coming along. Penn State is the job. Now, Florida might come about. I mean, there might be a little bit of competition as far as being the top job, but it's going to be able to have its pick of the litter for the most part in this offseason. So I would expect more than anything for this to last. And if I'm Penn State and I have my eyes on Matt Rule, I certainly want to see how year 3 goes at Nebraska.
Absolutely.
Because right now, midway through the season, yeah, it's going all right. But how
about that game against USC?
Yeah. I mean, you have to see how it plays out if I'm them. So if I'm Penn State, I'm in no hurry.
No.
We haven't seen Oklahoma State or UCLA or Virginia Tech or any of these teams jump and make a hire quick.
Everybody knows you're open.
Right.
Everybody knows Penn State's open, right? Like, that's all they needed to know. There's advantages to being one of the first jobs available. Everybody knows it, right? And you have your pick of the litter to at least have conversations with. Last thing I will also add, Bach, is that the comment that might be slipped under the radar from his little question and answer thing there that wasn't very reassuring, but I guess we're framing it that it is that Matt is very strategic and pointed and intentional with everything he says. And he mentioned the moment about investment, and that means financially. There's reasons he brings that up. There is a reason he brings that up, whether that's NIL investment, whether that's contract investment for him, anything. We might sit here and say, oh, Nebraska's in a great spot, and they might be. But in comparison to national championship contending programs, might not be.
I remember a quote he said not too long ago about maybe if he had money for a running back, he might have went and
there are reasons he says that stuff.
Yeah.
It's very pointed, and it's gonna be something that slips under the radar for a lot of people.
Yeah, interesting times, interesting day. Stay tuned to 93.7 The Ticket all day. We'll continue to bring the coverage on this. And, of course, we didn't get to it much, but there will be a little bit of breaking down the game, too, from this past weekend and beating Maryland. Adam Carricker up next year on 93.7 The Ticket. We'll talk to you soon.
There are great Mexican restaurants all over town, but there is one that is especially worth the drive from any part of town. Tacos Los Hermanos at 70th and Havelock. Cool off this summer with a delicious horchata or other special drinks, and grab one of their famous taco boxes for a group of friends or coworkers to enjoy, full of birria tacos and many other options. Don't forget their great desserts like tres leches, flan, and cheesecake. Get to Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock in Lincoln.
Parkview Animal Hospital and Corn Coast Brewing Company invite you to join them October 18th for Ales Helping Tales at Corn Coast Brewery in Lincoln. Enjoy a limited edition brew available at both Corn Coast Brewing locations in Lincoln and Omaha, as a portion of the proceeds will go to support Brave Animal Rescue in their efforts to help find dogs and cats their forever homes. Parkview Animal Hospital will be on location with great raffle prizes and helping bring awareness about pets in need. They hope to see you there.
Are you tired of living in pain? At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, they make it simple. From head to toe, spine to extremities, they've got you covered. Their multi-specialty team of experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry,